What is up YouTube, I'm Royal. I have an amazing Irelia gameplay for you today, but first, let's look at the build. So, for your boots, you can either go glutinous greaves, mercury treads, and plated steel caps. If the enemies are heavy magic damage or heavy physical damage, I would definitely recommend going tank boots. However, if they're a mix of both, you can go glutinous greaves if you want to be a little more aggressive as well. Then for your first item, you have the choice between getting Blade of the Ruined King, Trinity Force, or Divine Sunderer. Most of the time, I would go Blade of the Ruined King or Trinity Force. However, versus tankier teams, Divine Sunderer is also a great option. Then for your next item, most of the time you're gonna go Blade of the Ruined King if you didn't already. Keep in mind that you don't want to take Trinity Force and Divine Sunderer because they're both Sheen items, so you only want to take one of them. Then take your Blade of the Ruined King, versus Heavy AD take Death's Dance, versus Heavy AP take Witsends, and Sterix Gauge is also a great defensive item. Lastly, for another defensive item, I would recommend going Amaranth's Twin Guard because the stats it gives you make you great in sustaining long fights, which is where Irelia excels. So as long as you avoid getting bursted down by Sterix Cage and Death's Dance protecting you, you can do long, insane team fights with Wits Ends and Twin Guard. Jumping to your runes, you're either gonna go Kraken Slayer or versus tankier teams, you can still go Conqueror. However, I highly prefer Kraken Slayer for most games. Unless the enemy team is very tanky, then I'll go Conqueror. You're gonna go Precision Tree and you're gonna take Brutal, then Last Stand, Giant Slayer, or Coup de Grace. All three are great. If the enemies are tanky, take Giant Slayer. If the enemies are squishy, take Coup de Grace. If you think you're getting a lot of value from Last Stand, you can also go Last Stand. They're both great options. Then, for your Legend rune, you're either gonna go Tenacity or Bloodline. The 20% attack speed is not that impactful. However, Tenacity is amazing when the enemies have a lot of CC, and Bloodline is amazing if they don't have a lot of CC and you can get some extra Omnivamp. Keep in mind that Irelia does a lot of physical and magical damage with her passive, so Omnivamp heals you from both sources, so it's a great option. Lastly, for your last rune, you're probably going to go into Resolve for most games, Perseverance if the enemies have a lot of CC, Bone Plating for trading, Second Wind if the enemies are poking you down. The runes on screen are what I took for the gameplay because the enemies were heavy CC. Let's jump straight into the game, and immediately we can see that the enemies have a magic damage mid and a magic damage jungle, so they have Galio and Rammus. Obviously, I've gone Tenacity in my runes because of how much CC those two champions have. And I'm gonna look to get early Merc Treads this game. Tryndamere is doing some craziness level 1. However, with just the Ghost and his third ability, he's gonna be able to just get out. My Darius followed with Flash, but he was not able to do anything. Unfortunately, we do miss a minion. However, this should help the lane of Darius, since Tryndamere has to base very early. But that's okay, our level 1 isn't anything too insane. We want to get our level 2 as soon as possible, however. And Galio is actually doing a level 2 roam bot where my jungler ganked. So that's a very interesting situation. But I'm going to immediately push the wave so he starts missing minions under turret. I'm also going to take his plant. And I'm going to keep pushing the wave hard. He did get a kill, which sucks. But it looks like he'll probably, yep, he's gonna go down. And even though he did get a kill from this roam, he's gonna miss a lot of minions mid lane. And that's actually gonna put him in a pretty weird position. So there's nothing for me to do, so I'm just gonna go and base and spend my 700 gold. So I did start with a longsword, however now I'm gonna get Ruby Crystal so I can start building into my magic resist boots. So Irelia already has a lot of damage with her passive once she can stack it up. So as long as I don't die by getting bursted down by Galio and Rammus, I should be able to win longer fights. I use my auto attack to proc his Bone Plating, and now I can start going in for some plays. We also have the level lead. Unfortunately, I missed my third ability, but it's still a decent trade for us overall. Because I'm level 4 and he's level 3, Rammus shows up, but we're able to just walk away. We have the XP lead because of his early roam. He missed a lot of minions mid lane, even though he got a kill. So Karma and Rammus are here. Rammus is gonna flash on me, so I need to flash out. But thankfully we're not dying. So yeah, this game is very hectic. A lot of movement early on. However, the wave's in a great position for us, so we want to keep it here. I'm last hitting with my first ability to get some HP back. But this is a great wave position for us, and we can look for a kill now that we're level 5 with our ultimate. The wave is still pushing into us, so I'm kind of waiting for a chance to go in on the Galio. Now I'm pushing the wave towards him since he's playing pretty safe and I haven't found any opportunities to go in. We do kind of find an opportunity, however he's very close to his turret, so we're not going to be able to do much there. We still have the advantage and the XP lead. So now that we're gonna base and get our magic resist boots, we're kind of immune to the roams of Karma and to the ganks from Rammus, because we're just so tanky with these magic resist boots this early on. And we're probably gonna build into Trinity Force first item, since the enemies are quite squishy. Don't get tricked, Galio is actually a pretty squishy champion, even when he does go Road of Ages. So their only like tank champion is Rammus, which I will mostly be trying to avoid anyway. I ward over raptors and I actually see Rammus doing them, and I'm gonna try and steal them. I am very strong even in the 2v1 because of my early Merc Tread, since they both only do magic damage, right? So they've used all their spells on me and I'm still half HP and I'm killing the Rammus. And look how much damage I'm dealing with my passive while barely taking any from their burst. So I'm able to cleanly get a 2v1 double kill while invading the enemy jungler. This is why I praise magic resist boots on champions that can take it versus double AP. Because you just become so tanky. Especially since AP champions usually don't do consistent damage. They do burst damage, right? So Galio did his burst combo. I didn't really take a lot of HP damage. And then all he can do until his next combo is auto-attack me. So unless he can one-shot me, he's very weak in these extended fights. And he's also going the magic penetration build, right? He's going the mage boots that give magic penetration, and he's going for the magic penetration item. However, that's completely counter from my early magic resist. Karma is completely caught out here, and my team is able to just clean her up. That was a great stun by me. And here comes Rammus again. We're able to just dash to the minions, but he can't kill us. And now he's completely caught out from our team. We'll get a stun on him. Super easy to get your stun off if the enemy's already CC'd. So you can just chain that on top. And now we also have double buffs. So we could look to dive this guy from full HP since we're 2 levels up. This is a perfectly executed Irelia all-in combo. We use our third ability and our ult to get resets, so we're able to use our first ability multiple times and all-attacking the entire time within. So we're able to dive him from full HP. We actually have our team coming up, Darius and Xin Zhao, and Karma is slightly overextended. So we jump on her and we get our stun off. Once we hit the stun, our team is able to just follow through, tank the turret for us, and we get another kill, and we're already unstoppable with 5 kills. Rammus coming in with a Galio ult, but a quick little stun, and we're completely out of there. Rammus is gonna have his first ability up soon. However, Lux is gonna come support us, so we're doing alright. And this is just how dominant Irelia can be in the early game if you master her and you play her well. We want to base and get our Trinity Force, which is a very early Trinity Force, considering that I'm going Trinity Force and I already have boots, right? I have an unbelievable amount of gold. But this is just a sample of what you can do with Irelia in the early game. She just completely dominates. Oof, Jhin actually lived with like 1 HP. So now back to lane, Galio does not stand a chance. They can't even 2v1, I mean they couldn't 2v1 me before, but they definitely can't at this point. So I could look for dives again if Galio doesn't play well. So I hit my third ability stun, however I'm still a little afraid of just diving him straight up while he has his second ability up. He has gotten a bit of armor too to make it a little harder. So we still want to be careful and not throw our lead, but now he's caught not under turret, so we're able to get a lot of damage on him before he's under turret, and we're able to dive him. Xin Zhao is gonna herald mid, which is great because we just killed Galio as well. So maybe we can get another shot on the next turret. However, Rammus is there, Karma is here, and Jhin is here too, so I'm very overextended, and I will be going down. So this was definitely a little greedy from me because I didn't know where the enemy dual lane was, and I was very far up. So small mistake from me, however, the enemies had to rotate mid, which gives an opportunity to my dual lane to get a full turret and all the platings. So that gives us like 600 gold. So even though this was a bit of a misplay, because if I backed off, we would still get the turret, right? It's still worth it for us overall, because the enemy should not be rotating there. So I'm looking to get Wit's End as my second item, because of how AP heavy the enemy team is. Their only ADs Jhin and Tryndamere. However, Tryndamere is mostly going to be split pushing and not focusing me, so I don't have to worry about him too much. So their only real AD threat is Jhin. So Wit's End is actually a great choice of an item right now, and it's amazing on Irelia, because it just synergizes so well with her attack speed on her passive. So Gal goes for an... Oh, I missed my ulti. That would have been a nice ult. It would have slowed them down and I could catch up. But I do unfortunately miss it. The range was a little too small. Tryndamere is going in by himself. He does get the Xin Zhao. Oh, and here comes Jhin. So I immediately dash on him, and then I look for a stun. Unfortunately, Ram's there to stop me. But I'm gonna flash and go on top of the Jhin. Get the kill. Use my second ability to block a lot of damage, and then just QSS and we're out. So you guys also notice I bought QSS because I couldn't afford Wit's End. So I went ahead and bought the QSS because of how much CC the enemy team has. I have Tenacity runes, but I'm also gonna go for the QSS because they have Karma, Rammus, and Galio, and even Jhin has quite a bit of CC. So getting the slow reduction and the tenacity makes me an absolute menace because I just can't be stopped, right? I have all this damage, and now they can't even CC me, so they have no way to defend their carries. We're gonna be absolutely dominating the rest of this game, the same way we've been dominating so far. My jungler is coming from behind Tryndamere, so I'm just gonna jump on him and then get the stun off. It's okay to use your first ability without a reset because look at the cooldown, it's 5 seconds long. So once I do engage with my first ability and I can hit an easier stun, then after 5 seconds I'll have it back up and I can still use the resets, right? So don't be afraid to engage with your first ability, you don't get the resets every single time. However, you need to find a way to stack your passive as much as you can, and the easiest way to do that is through your first ability resets. If you guys don't know what Irelia passive does, at 4 stacks of using your abilities on minions or enemies or jungle monsters, you gain more attack speed and your all attacks do more magic damage on hit. So now this was me getting a little greedy. All 5 of the enemy team is here. Darius just going in. Okay, Darius. However, I'm very low HP without a lot of cooldowns. So I'm just waiting for my team to kite down the Tryndamere, which we kind of fail at. And Tryndamere does escape with Darius as his prize. And now Jhin is actually going to ult and pick up our Kai'Sa. Good snipes from the Jhin. We're going to work towards our Death's Dance next because we still have to respect the damage of Tryndamere and Jhin. And also, all we need to do now is avoid getting bursted, right? Our damage is really high. We have a lot of consistent damage and healing from Wit's End. We just want to make sure that we don't get bursted. And Death's Dance is a great item for that, since it blocks damage and then slowly does it over time, which we can keep healing. So if you notice, what I keep doing is, every time I come out of base, I push out the side lane and pressure the enemy team, which creates more map control for my team. So now I see both Tryndamere and Karma. I need to be a little careful. I don't know where Galio is. He could always ult. Rammus is nearby. So I'm not just going to go in and suicide. We're going to play the macro correctly. I'm going to keep pushing the wave. So I'm pressuring the enemy team. And that creates opportunities for us to do things on the rest of the map. However, my whole team's kind of grouping with me here, which I don't really like, because I don't just want to fight them for no reason, right? But I do catch Tryndamere in the stun. And here comes Galio with the ult, right? Exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm forced to flash out, use my ulti. Tryndamere goes on me and actually fails his ulti. I feel like he could have probably killed me if he ulted correctly. And I'm just barely surviving, and my Wit's End healing is enough. And I have so much magic resist to kill the Galio. He's not really doing a lot of damage to me. I'm so tanky. So definitely a misplay from Tryndamere to not ult there. I'll probably would have died from that mistake of going in, but it does end up working in our favor because we just outplayed the enemy team and the enemy team played bad, which is pretty common for master tier players. However, the whole point of unranked to sovereign is to show you how to beat every elo, right? So it's important to beat master tier players as well. And here comes a surrender vote. They're just not able to do anything against my Irelia, where it is completely dominating and taking over this game. I'm pretty sure we're master tier around 21 points. Yep, so thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, comment what champion I should play, and subscribe for more Wild Rift content.